Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is your boy, the dynamic duo. We are back yet again with a brand spanking new one for you guys. The two guys, because we're geeked, where we encourage you to stay geeked. Listen, man, I am vengeance. I am the night, man. It is your boy, real.
It's your boy, Will.
Yes, sir, guys. Listen, got a good one for you guys as usual. We're gonna talk about. Well, I'm gonna have Cuz here talk about the Gran Turismo. He just saw this yesterday. Got a lot to talk about it, and we're also going to talk about. We'll have some DC talk, which is why I got my Batman shirt on. We're gonna talk some DC, man. We're gonna talk about the struggles and what we think maybe could help them moving forward. We don't know. Hopefully, they can pick it up. We'll find out. But before we do all that, man, we definitely gonna get into Gran Turismo spoilers. Listen, cuz before I do that, y'all already know how we do this. Spoilers, spoilers.
Spoilers.
There you go. All right, guys, listen. Cuz I'm gonna let you take it away, man. Kind of give everybody your thoughts on Gran Turismo, and then give us a scale of 1 to 10, man, and let us know what you think of the movie.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna look the Rotten Tomato scores up. Go ahead.
All right. So overall, it was a good movie. Enjoyed it. It was so I saw the previews of it. It was like, oh, it looks pretty interesting, and I actually had the opportunity to check it out yesterday, and just the overall. It was a fun movie to watch. It was a lot better than what I expected. The casting was great, going from the lead with Archie. Had David Harbour, who's also, if you watch Stranger Things, Harper. He was great in it, per usual. Orlando Bloom, he was essentially like the brains behind it. The idea of Gran Turismo, like the casting, it was great. Even Jamon, I don't remember his name.
Jamon Hasu.
Yes, I love. It's just everything that he's in. Such a great actor. But let's just break it down. All right, so Gran Turismo, as you know, is a video game. You know, it's actually not a video game. It is a simulator, a driving simulator. To For millennials, is what we grew up on. Being able to, it's by far one of the better driving games that we had as kids. Having the different cars, being able to drive different parts of the world, the different tracks. Uh, just the uh, just the overall game itself was just being able to play was fun, and they were able to bring the enjoyment of the game to the movie. The Being able to witness Jan, who is the name of the main character, whenever he gets into the zone, he has like lines that he sees on the track that he tries to hit when he's driving. They bring that on there because typically it has like areas where even if you're like in practice mode, it basically wants you to follow to be able to keep to be able to maintain driving and whatnot. And he has his own, like his mind just works itself to where to figure things out, and their ability to be able to bring all that to this movie was amazing. Given the backstory of the Raw character, just he was a gamer, you know, just a gamer kid that found what he loved, you know, which was racing. I was wanting the opportunity to become a race driver, and he had the opportunity, and he just went for it and made the best of it. It's crazy, like I had never heard of like this happening, you know, like that they actually
You was a
went
real gamer.
through. Yeah, exactly. So when first seeing a preview for it, and it was like, yeah, based on real life and all that, it was like, I had no idea. And because I was so intrigued by it, I didn't look it up. at all. Like I
I
didn't
was just
want
about to ask,
to.
did you find out about the story and all that stuff?
Yeah, no, I just with it fresh. Like I didn't want to know like uh if he was successful, if he failed. Like I didn't want to know any of it because I actually wanted to see the movie and be able to just take it all in at that point. And to me, I think that's what made it even better was the not knowing. To see that it was like well, he went through this, went through. There was one particular crash that he was involved in, where the car it was just a freak accident. It was a windy day. Car was lightweight because ended up driving a little bit longer than what they should have, so ended up burning more fuel. So the car ended up getting lighter. So end up on a turn on a hill, end up catching air and end up crashing and end up killing someone.
Mm.
Like it showed like what he went through as far as like his mental process, his the pain of him finding out that he killed someone, and his and you got David plays basically his
David Harbour.
coach. Yeah, his coach basically trying to pull him back into racing because essentially the same thing happened to him. He didn't cause the accident, David, or didn't cause the accident, but uh, he was involved in a crash where he drove and someone died as well, and he stopped racing cars after that. So it's just like pulling on the heartstrings with that, being able to pull you in. It was the underdog story because us Americans we love the underdog story, just hoping for victory, and the fact that they were acting it was a team of racers that did the this final race called the Le Mans, which is a 24-hour race, which is insane. So
Mm.
it's each race team have three drivers, and you're not allowed to drive. Each driver isn't allowed to drive more than 14 hours. So the way that they broke it down was essentially just break it up into threes and uh, basically right around 8 hours and try to punch it out that way. But just the fact that they were able to uh, get on the podium, which is top three, in that type of after that type of race was amazing. But it's overall the movie's great. The storyline is great. The uh, the the special effects was fantastic because like they did explosive view of the cars a few times just whenever he was beginning into the zone, especially like if he's just sitting in a chair, you'll see the car coming to him and like he's just hitting it like edge of my seat watching it the whole way through like this. They did well with this one. Uh, this is one like it's not to me a big box office movie, but it's definitely a movie like. And we got a few hours to kill here. You want to go see a movie? I highly recommend it. Like it's one that I think people should go take the time and just go enjoy. If you don't go see it, I think you'll be cheating yourself. Like that's how good of a movie it is to me.
It's funny you said that because look like the audience agrees with you. The audience scored it at a 98%.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it was really good. Like I said, it surprised me of how good it was. I thought it was just gonna be, yeah, because so for one, it's partial. It's a part of a video game adapted,
Does this count as a
and
video game movie?
I would think so. I think part.
Okay.
I think it has to because it's played such a major role. Yes, it's a someone's life, the involvement of someone's life, but I think it still has to count uh, video game as well because without the video game, like this doesn't happen. You know, They even at the end when they place when they make it to the podium, they even do a little winner circle like what you would have as far as the video game. They digitized him.
Oh, for real.
Right, yeah, it's like for a quick second to where it's what you would see in a video game. So yeah, it was really creative for the to be able to see that. But just the overall, it was a really good movie. I highly recommend it.
So,
That's what I was going to tell you yesterday. Like when I finished, like, yo, you might need to just find time, like it, especially like over the next few weeks, if it's not as many like comic book movies or anything really going on, and you find time, go see it, and you will not be disappointed. You will not feel like you wasted time or anything. You're gonna enjoy it.
the Rotten Tomato score is a 59, but the audience score is
Hmm.
a 98.
Yeah.
Um, what do you give it? A scale of 1 to 10. What do you give it?
Uh, I give it a refreshing 8. I give it a refreshing 8.
So
Just
you saying
because
it's one
like
tick? You saying it's one tick below TMT and Into the Spider Verse?
shoot, those two, that's like 1.8 though. That's like 1.8, 1.6. But yeah, it's just because like my expectation, because like with those two, I had an expectation and like they just blew that out the water. This one, like my expectation was much lower, and it was like, oh, okay, I see what y'all doing here, and this, you
Ain't that the
definitely
best feeling, bro?
got
When you got
into
the low expectations, bro, then you get in there, you're like, oh dang, okay, it's better than I
yeah,
thought. I tell you, that's how I feel about the Ninja Turtle movie. I was like, my
yeah,
expectations were kind of low. Like I said,
yeah,
trailers didn't really just sell me like that. But then when I watched, I was like, oh, okay, this movie better than I thought it was. Like, okay,
yeah,
that'd be the best
exactly.
feeling,
Like,
man.
yeah, it was, and that's what made it so refreshing. Like, they really did it because one thing that we've been talking about of late for a lot of the box office is a lot of the failings of these movies, and I think this one is like it didn't have as much of an expectation, so for it to come out and to actually be a good movie, yeah, it's one of those what they call a palate cleanser, just
Mm,
something to be able to enjoy. It's not a comic book movie. It is, to me, like I said, partial video game
video
movie,
game,
which you would like Mario. The Mario movie, animated movie, is video game movie.
video game.
Um, but I think this one is part video game as well, just because without the video game, you don't have this whole situation happening.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I know, like you said, based off a true story, and then like I
Hmm.
know it got the name Gran Turismo in there, but I was like, but
Yeah,
like, is it really talking about like, is it a Gran Turismo storyline like out of the video game or whatever?
yeah,
Which
yeah,
Gran Turismo don't really have a storyline; it's just racing or
yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's what helps with this one is the fact that they show so much of the detail. Like the races themselves, uh, it shows just how great they are. Like the hours, it doesn't do a deep dive as far as like watching them like grow into it. It just goes right into like their of age and just Orlando Bloom, who's playing Danny Moore, he just starts off with his idea and just goes from there and pulling the races and gets going. But it's just overall uh, the video game is just over. It just hangs over the whole movie. Like I said, without it, you just don't have it. So that's why it just has to count. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed it.
all right, man. You got anything else you want to add to it?
Y'all go see that movie. Support. To me, I feel like that's a fresh idea. Just it's a real life story tied up into video games. I think it's worth people going to go see, especially with the strikes and everything going on right now. Um, I think this helps to have fresh ideas, you know. So
I
gotta
mean, if you
support it whenever
if you
it
saying
happens.
all this about the movie, man, then chances are it's going to be somewhat successful because chances are I don't think they spent a ton of ton of money on this movie, man. Like
Yeah,
the budget had to been low. Like I think the only time I really seen the Gran Turismo anything was when I went to the actual movie, saw a movie.
yeah,
That's kind of where they did most of their marketing. They kept it at the movie theater. So yeah, so I don't think marketing price was that high. I don't think, like I said, the budget was that high. I think
yeah,
what the biggest actor in that movie was what David Harbour. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
Because yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So I mean, when last time we saw Orlando Bloom in a big blockbuster movie? You know,
yeah. It's been a while.
The first Pirates of the Caribbean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's been a
or
while.
that failed Three Musketeer movie.
Oh man, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
I forgot all about that.
man. You know, it wasn't bad, bro. It wasn't bad. Was it great? No. Was it bad? No.
Man, yeah.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and turn the page here, man, to this topic here. Will the DC ever bounce back, man? I think it's something we kind of been touching on. Just been touching on like comic book movies in general here, man, over the last what 5 weeks or so.
Yeah, yeah, at
Just
least.
kind of asked had that question of what a couple of shows ago. You know, was there comic book fatigue and all that stuff?
Yeah,
Could kind of get into that here, man. Gonna show the people this here real quick, man. Show the people this, yeah. Here we go. All right, listen, man. So these are DC. This is the DCEU's worst opening weekends.
jeez.
Yeah. So of course you see here, Flash only making 55 million. Shazam, the first Shazam, only making 53 million. Birds of Prey making 34. Shazam, Fury of the Gods making 30.5. The Suicide Squad, that's James Gunn's movie, makes
Yeah,
26. Blue Beetle makes 25.4. And then, of course, Wonder Woman 1984 makes 16.7. That should have an asterisk next to it. It's
yeah,
something we talked about before on why it made 16, but we're going to get into all that. Listen, man. Blue Beetle, like I said, only made 25.4. It I don't know if it cracked 50 million yet. Hopefully it did.
yeah,
But right now, it's also on pace to be a flop for DC.
yeah.
Um, well, I want to get your opinion on this, man, because I think, like I said, there's a lot of I got a lot of opinions on this. I mean, you talked about this before on the show, but give yours first, man. Like, what do you think the issue is with DC and why they've been flopping?
Uh, I think the failure of what is it? The Batman vs Superman. I think that's because I felt like that they were starting to because you had a win with Wonder Woman, you had a win with Aquaman, uh, and then once that one came out, and so many cooks in the kitchen, and it had two of your biggest characters, or it had your all your biggest characters: Batman, Superman, Flash, Aquaman, Wonder Woman. Like it had everybody that you wanted, and it ended up failing them because the continuity was off. It didn't mesh well, and I think that's what turned a lot of people off. Uh, that's they had a chance to do something great because you had Ben Affleck as Batman, where you could have the big bruising Batman to fight people. You had Henry Cavill as Superman, which was the epitome of Superman. Like that dude is like when
Born
you
to be
think of
Superman.
Superman, yeah, like he was born for this role, and the studio failed him. uh, the not being able to have a solid idea to allow or to have a plan of what they wanted is I think that's where the failing started because I'm sure like if you look at the numbers, the overall numbers for that movie, just the money wise, will be massive. But when it comes to the Rotten Tomatoes, like I bet you it's terrible. Like I would expect it to be below 60 for both
Audience
the
and yeah,
yeah, and I feel
audience and
like
critics.
that yeah, I feel like that was a turning point for DC as far as say, well, if you can't get, we just saw Avengers knock it out the park with all these characters, and then y'all couldn't even get it together with these five characters. Like, why should we trust you? And I feel like from that point, it's just been downhill. And then they've been stacking bad decisions on bad decisions from that
What?
point. And and like we said even a few weeks ago, it's not even you couldn't even call it fatigue. It's just people just don't trust it. It's been yeah, people just don't trust the studio right now as far as being able to put out good content, and the studio eh, the studio hasn't put out enough effort to prove them wrong, because The Flash is a good movie, but it had the Ezra Miller whole situation, and it felt like as if the people boycotted that movie because of Ezra. You had Shazam Fury of Gods allow for The Rock to uh, keep himself out of it, and then also pull down Black Adam at the same time. Uh, it's just misstep after misstep. So it's just I think it will bounce back because James Gunn knows the importance of it, and his creativity uh, will be on full display for Superman. Like I think that will be a masterpiece because it has to be. Like for the DCU to um, survive for another decade plus, it has to be a masterpiece. Like they have to be able to advertise it. Like the way that you said last week of what Star Wars is failing for Ahsoka, when it should be a event. Uh, every episode for Ahsoka should be an event. That's what this has to be for DC. It can't just be another run of the mills movie. This has to be a masterpiece, and you have to advertise it as a this is where you need to be. This is what everything has boiled down to.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Man of Steel. This is uh, the beginning of the DCU. This is us, and it has to be on full display, and it has to be successful. And so I trust Gunn to be able to put that on the screen. What you got?
Man, I agree with you, man. Listen, there's a lot I can take out of this.
Yeah.
First of all, just looking at this list, a
Hmm.
few of these movies are actually, like you said, they're very good movies. Like you said, The
Yeah.
Flash was a very good movie. Shazam was a very good movie. Suicide Squad was really good. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, the Suicide Squad was really good. Which you know what, man, I'm gonna get to that here in a little bit. Blue Beetle was very good. You know,
Yeah.
Wonder Woman '84 could have been better.
Yeah.
Uh, Shazam: Fury of the Gods was okay.
Yeah.
Birds of Prey, I wish was a little bit better. I wish it could have did some things different in that movie, but whatever. All right, so listen, like you said, a lot of the downfall started happening like right after Batman versus Superman, very divisive movie. Everybody, as
Yeah.
everybody knows, it started kind of just going downhill from there. Um, a lot of behind the scene things that kind of affected a lot of these movies. Like you said, Flash. With the Flash movie, it's funny. You it's like Warner Brothers didn't get ahead of that situation like they should have, like a couple years ago. 'Cause remember, this been going on for 2 almost 3 years with Ezra Miller. They did not get in front of the issue, and that was one of the
Yeah.
main things. Like if you had got in front of this, you probably could have saved yourself some money.
Yeah.
So them kind of thinking like let's just be quiet and brushing under the rug as he sits constantly ranking up charges here and there. It
Yeah.
it it, it affected the movie, man. It affected the movie. Um, Shazam, like I said, Shazam was at that time it was a not a very a known product as far as the mainstream audience. We
Yeah.
talk about that all the time, right? We talk about the fact that I know a lot of people always say, well, Guardians of the Galaxy wasn't a mainstream, property, and everybody went to go see that. You
Yeah.
got to kind of factor in the fact that it also came off the back of a ton of successful movies for Marvel, which we talked about
Stacked
that
on.
before. This is why I told you when Blue Beetle came out, I said, bro, Blue Beetle is not going to be successful because it's a character a lot of people do not know.
Yeah.
So you're coming out and you're coming off the back of movies that are not successful, right? It's not that fact that it has nothing to do with if the movie's good or not, but it has a uphill battle to climb now because
Yeah.
you're coming off the back of movies that aren't successful and you're a character that a lot of people do not know about. What
Yeah.
was the first thing you said when we talked about Blue Beetle? Oh, first time I seen Blue Beetle was in Young Justice. A
Yeah.
lot of I saw somebody online say the first time they seen Blue Beetle was on Batman Brave and the Bold. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like, and I told you the first time I seen him was on Smallville. Like,
Yeah.
I don't I know of the character. I don't know a lot about the character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I knew of Ted Cord. I knew Ted Cord died. I
Hmm.
knew how he died. You know what I'm saying? I know all that stuff, but I don't know like the ins and outs of Blue Beetle. I don't know his arch enemies. I don't know a lot of his stories like that. I know of the character. I don't know a lot about the character. And
Yeah.
so, that had a lot of the reasons why Blue Beetle didn't wasn't successful. Now, you know, you going forward, you're hoping that, like you said, James Gunn can kind of tweak some things here and there, kind of bring new light to DC. That way,
Yeah.
so the movies following that will get a little bit more successful because of some of the things that James Gunn has implemented in DC. Now, overall, for the DCEU, like you said, I've said this before too. There was never a singular vision. Never a singular vision. It was like, let me just get this director. Just hey, whatever movie you want to come up with, man, just go and get it out there, right?
Yeah.
And then when that didn't work, you're backtracking. You're like, oh, that didn't work. We gotta do this now. It's like, bro, you gotta lay a plan out. If you have a share, you want to form a shared universe, man. You have to lay the groundwork out of what you want this shared universe to do. Come up with a
That part.
plan, stick with that plan. Now, are there going to be some hiccups and bumps along the way? Yes, but what do? You don't just deter off that road, man. You try to find a way to correct that, and you continue to move forward. That's what DC
Yeah.
did. I mean, I'm sorry, the MCU did. MCU didn't have a 100% across the board. There was some hiccups along the way, but guess what? Kevin
Steady.
Feige and them said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue with my plan and trust my plan. And it worked out
Hmm.
for him for the first three phases. Now, phase
Yeah.
4, that's a different story. We can talk about that another day, but that's what he did. That's why Marvel was so successful. That's why people trust the Marvel products, right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, a lot of these, and the part there's another part too that kind of gets me about DC. This is another reason why they've been failing. You kind of touched on it there at the end of your rant there.
Mhm.
The one part that made me mad was when the Superman character for the DCEU
Yeah.
wasn't received the way that Warner Brothers wanted him to be received. They tried to distance themselves from him.
Yeah.
And that's why you saw a lot of the back and forth with Henry Cavill. Is he going to be in the movie or not? Is he coming back? Is he not? That's why you saw a lot of the back and forth between him and Warner Brothers. You kept hearing his name out there, then you didn't hear it. You heard his name out there, then you didn't hear it, right?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't received the way that Warner Brothers wanted. They tried to distance themselves. That's not what you do. Listen, man.
Yeah.
Superman is the most popular character of all time.
Yeah.
We talk about this all the time. Your mom knows who. If I walk around with this S right here on my shirt, your mama know who that is.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who that is. He's a recognizable character. He's a recognizable IP. Everybody knows who that is. Why are you distancing yourself from that?
Yeah.
That's like if Batman, like, were you gonna distance yourself from Batman after Batman and Robin? No. What did you do?
Nope.
You went back to the drawing table, say, "Hey, Chris Minola, can you make this Batman movie, whatever?" Right?
Yeah.
And look what happens. Like, you're not gonna distance yourself from Batman. So why are you distancing yourself from the one of the most popular characters of all time, bro? That makes no
Yeah.
sense. When they did Justice League, what did they do? When they were marketing Justice League, try to keep Superman a secret. It's
Yeah.
like, bro, you're hurting the movie that way. Like, Superman is the character, bro. Like, you
Yeah.
building
Put him
everything
out
around
front.
him.
Yeah.
Why do you think James Gunn is starting off with Superman for the DCU?
he, he
He
knows it.
knows exactly. Like it's common sense, right? And that a lot of that has to do with it too. It's like because I remember there was rumors that what they were gonna do was like cause completely forget about Superman and they were just gonna replace him with Supergirl. She was gonna be the Superman of the universe moving forward. I'm like, that's come on, man. That being you adding a derivative character and taking out the main character is not gonna work, bro.
Yeah.
And so that's why that was one of the reasons why it also fails, man. Um, the Suicide Squad. I'm gonna say this. Listen, they should have made it a different title, like Suicide Squad. God's Revenge, whatever. Just whatever.
Yeah.
Make it another title, bro. You don't want to
Yeah.
make that movie and have it the exact same title as a movie that didn't get critically any type of high critical praise, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
because people see a Suicide Squad. Oh, I seen that already with the first one with Trey Parker.
Yeah.
You gonna
Yeah.
turn people off with that name. You thought if I just throw the in front of it, oh, it's gonna be completely different.
Yeah.
I seen Suicide Squad. No, it's the Suicide Squad. So
It's
like
completely
that
different.
doesn't make a change, but it's a very good movie, man. To me, that was like so top three movies in the DC to me. I'm gonna say Man of Steel, Suicide Squad, and then Shazam.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah. I can get behind that.
and then Wonder Woman
I can
84
get.
is in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I say it's
But
definitely top four, but
yeah.
but yeah. So
Yeah. I
like
can get behind that.
yeah, so but yeah, but like I said, man, listen, I just like you said, this is what I've been kind of pondering this for a while. I think we talked about this before.
Yeah.
Moving forward, if James Gunn and we're going to do this right, keep the budget low. Now I'm not
Hmm.
saying make a $50 million Superman movie. I'm not saying that. You can make a 50. I mean, sorry, you can make a Superman movie for about 125.
Yeah.
125. You don't have to make a $300 million Superman movie because that's how you end up hitting in the negatives. Especially
Yeah.
if you know that the movie not going. I'm sorry, the movie
Overreaching.
not. You know the movie's not going to be successful in the box office, right? You want to try to
Yeah.
recoup as much money as you can. You keep the budget down.
Yeah.
Like right now, that Superman movie will be coming off the back of other not successful DC movies. Like I said before,
Yeah.
a lot of the general going eyes don't have the idea of this is a reboot. They're gonna
Yeah.
say DC, okay, it's part of DC. Look at it as a reboot. Like no, this is different from the DCEU. This is the DCU. They don't look at it
Yeah.
like that. So that's why I say you have to keep the budget down. I say about 100, 125. I know that's probably a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
If you can try to keep it around there, and then maybe go from there, and hopefully you can if it does not make a lot in the box office, you won't lose a lot. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I just feel like you do that for any movie in general. I don't feel like you got to make a $300 million movie. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, like one of those James Cameron movies. You know what I'm saying? The Avatar movies or something. But just keep the budget
Yeah.
down, man, and that'll also help. Um, let's see what else could be help. I mean,
I
this is
think
what I was
that's a
thinking
big
too,
thing.
because I think after Man is Steel. Oh, go ahead. What you say?
I know. I think I was just saying that I agree if they keep the budget down because I was just thinking of Gran Turismo. Its budget was 60 mil, and everything that they did as far as special effects and everything that went into it, it's like I said, it's a good movie. And if Superman basically like 120, easy just double that budget 120, you'd be able to add a little bit extra, tighten up on probably a few other things. It's Superman could definitely be a 120 movie that turns out a lot more money if well done properly.
Yeah, like I said, you don't have to make it a $300 million movie, bro. Like just keep the
Yeah,
budget down, and it should be fine. Um,
yeah,
I was thinking this too. If they really want to get things going, I know this is not the plans were to kind of do the Superman movie and then do I think like Creature Commandos. I think the animated movie after that or something like that,
yeah,
or was it somebody else? I think it was Creature Commandos right after Superman. I was
yeah,
thinking what they should do is if you want to get the ball rolling and try to get this thing as positive as you can. Because what's the one thing I've always told you? If you're gonna add these obscure characters, you add them within the movies of the main characters. Like That's what
That
James Gunn
part.
is doing right now in the first Superman. Right, he's adding Metamorpho, he's adding Hawk Girl, he's adding Mister Terrific, adding
Yeah,
Guy Gardner Green Lantern. You know what I'm saying? So you add those characters in the movie. That's how you introduce. Like, if you're trying to like get a slew of characters, like instead of you having any individual movies like Marvel doing right now with TV shows,
yeah,
where I don't have time to get familiar with this character or to have time to get familiar with that character. Let me just
yeah,
go ahead and throw these little obscure characters in this movie. Just make a story, a story up of that's going to involve all of them in there or whatever, right? And that
yeah,
way, I know who Metamorpho is because I saw him in that Superman movie. I know who Nightwing is because I seen him in that Batman movie or whatever, right?
yeah, yeah.
So I was sitting there thinking, would you do something like that? Also, would you be mad if they came out with Batman right after Superman? Batman Brave and the
Huh?
Bold right after Superman?
No. So when you say right behind it, 6 months right behind it, same
Well,
year behind it,
no,
what
no,
you
no. I mean,
thinking?
like it. That'd be the next movie. That'd be the next movie.
No, I wouldn't be upset
Okay,
because that's what they should be doing. You have to start building. If you're doing a reboot, a soft reboot, hard reboot, whatever they're doing as far as getting everything back together, I think you have to go Superman, your new Batman, and then just building out the characters. Because if you do it that way, you you do open your the door up for more characters as well too, because you don't have to with Batman the Bold. You could essentially start opening up the Bat family. You don't have to be immediate. You can have that plan. It could be just kind of like drop some name drops here and there for it. But I think that starts to okay. We had a good Superman movie budget, one right about 120. It's a young Superman, so it don't have to be crazy. We just drop Batman, keep his budget under control, another 120. Actually, that might be able to go a little bit lower because uh,
if you keeping it grounded and everything.
yeah, exactly. Keeping it grounded, keeping it closer to real world. Boom, that one could be right around 125 to 100 as well. And at this point, now you're stacking good movies. You're stacking reasonable budgets with it as well, to where it's it's forcing you to be creative. It's forcing you to write good stories, to be able to, and then good advertisement as well to bring people out. Yeah, I could see the pathway to bring DC back to where it's supposed to be as far as being the other major comic book studio. So yeah, I see that pathway that way. That's a good way of doing it.
Let me answer this question here because King got a good point here. He says, even with all the failure, do you guys believe that the new Nolan slash Batman, Bale Batman would profit? Multiple answers I can give you on that, King. Yes, because for one, Nolan right now is probably one of the hottest, if not the hottest director right now. You attach his name to anything, it's gonna be profitable. We saw Oppenheimer is not a comic book movie, ain't an action movie, nothing like that. And look how much it's making right now in the box office. I believe it's about to cross 800 million. So
And it's
then on
going on
top,
an extended run.
yeah, and it's going on an extended run. Then on top of that, Bale's Batman, he's coming off the back of a successful trilogy of movies. I think,
Yeah,
and then this whole nostalgia thing too. I think it would, man. I think it would.
yeah,
But yeah. No, what was I say though? But yeah, no, that's just a few of my opinions on that, man. Because I was just like I said, man, we grew up on DC. We just want DC to
yeah,
succeed, man.
yeah,
Um, I really try. I told you this before. I think our saying on here is "In Gun We Trust." I
yeah,
trust James Gunn.
yeah,
I trust his. I trust his creative eye. We've seen it with his movies. We've seen it with Peacemaker. We've seen it with Guardians of the Galaxy. I was just watching Guardians of the Galaxy 3 the other day, man. Movie's still good,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Um, I really, and like I said, if y'all ever go back and listen to his interview on like a Rosenbaum's podcast, you kind of hear the idea he has for just comic book movies in general, right? But
yeah,
but to say in Superman, right? He has an idea of how he wants to do it, and I feel like with Wade, we already know how James Gunn is. He's like he's a massive geek. We
Yeah.
feel I feel like the way that he was explaining it, man. You hear that he has an understanding of how he's going to do this, right?
Yeah.
Me and you talked about the My Adventures of Superman, and every time I watch that
Love it.
show, I start thinking to myself, I feel like that's how James Gunn is going to do it.
Yeah.
Not to that extent. Like a lot of that is kind of like out of the box thinking with the Superman. I'm talking about as far as like the sensibilities of Superman. How because I think
Yeah.
he talked about it before. Superman lives is a kind man in a world full of hate and evil and all that stuff, right? He's trying
Yeah.
to share that with the world, and I feel like that's
Yeah.
how he's going to end up doing it in the new Superman movie. Um, can't wait till that come out. We got this whole strike and everything. We'll get that's another subject for another day. But
Yeah.
I really feel like with that, I think that he will hit it out the park. Now, like I said, you want of course in movies you want those three successful marks, right? You want the critic,
Yeah.
you want the audience, and you want the box office.
Yeah.
It's going to depend on how they market it. Superman's a recognizable IP. James Gunn's name attached to anything right now seems to be making money. You saw what Guardians of the Galaxy 3 did.
Yeah.
Uh Hopefully those three things kind of help add on to the Superman movie to where it is successful in not only just the critics and the audience, but in the box office. And if that's the
Right.
case, hopefully that'll help usher in the new DCU. Now, I know these two movies I'm about to name off aren't part of the DCU. The
Yeah.
Joker 2 movie and the Batman, Matt Reeves Batman. But
Yeah.
those two movies being successful can also help DC.
Yeah.
Like I
Absolutely.
said, a lot of people don't know that this is a separate universe or whatever. They just see like, oh, DC, Batman, Superman. Okay, then if that
Yeah.
movie's good, then I'll go back to the movie theaters and watch the other ones. So hopefully
Yeah.
those two movies will be successful enough to also help that movie out because you definitely you need a couple dubs in a row, man. You need a couple dubs in a row.
Yeah.
Which is why I was saying like maybe they should speed up the process and make it Superman movie and then Batman movie after that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
As
but
long as they have a plan for it, a good plan for it, I should say. Yeah, I hope. I think that will be the best route. Get your Superman movie out, get your Batman movie, and go from there.
yeah, because listen, man. You a plan is only as good as if you execute it, right? Like
Yeah.
you want to just have this just have a plan. Just have a plan.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're not gonna have it knock it out the park 100%. You're gonna have hiccups along the way. Marvel's has had hiccups along the way, but they
Yeah.
stuck with their plan. And so, I mean, now you might say they don't have no plan in the way things are kind of going all over the place. But anyway, that's another subject. But you want from what we've heard James Gunn say, it sounds like he does. They have a plan
Hmm.
and he has it mapped out like how he wants to do it. He has it in chapters. They're doing a chapter right now. It's gonna be gods and monsters.
Yeah.
So if you have a hiccup along the way, do not panic. Don't be like, oh my god, we got to change the whole thing up because this one movie failed. Like, no,
Yeah. Yeah.
stick with your
After having
plan.
like three successful ones.
Exactly, stick with your plan. Tweak some things along the way, and then bam, you'll be okay. You know,
Yeah.
like I said, I trust James Gunn's vision. I see like, man, listen, I know under James Gunn, you're gonna get a lot of obscure characters that we didn't even think of. Like I said, Polka Dot Man is now a household name now
Yeah. Yeah.
because of
That's
James
wild.
Gunn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm ready for it, man. But I think James Gunn will clean it up, man. It's gonna take some time.
Yeah.
I just want people to be patient. I know that's a cuss word, man. Nowadays, being patient. People
Yeah.
want things instant. Like, no, I want my $1 billion movie right now. Just be
Exactly.
patient, man. Give this man time. He's coming off the backs of a not so successful run of DCEU movies, so just kind of be patient with him, man. And I believe he will turn it around. But
Yep.
that's all I got, man. What else you got?
I said my piece. I think it's going to be coming back, and it's going to be. It won't be slow, but it'll be steady. It will be steady, but DC will get it right.
Yeah, we hope so, man. But other than that, man, listen, man, I got one question to ask, cuz
Yeah,
what are you watching?
man. Listen, watch the. Oh, got to get on the BS documentary for Bishop Sycamore's football school, which is just chaos. Got to watch that one. But was it? Yeah, I just saw Gran Turismo. It was good. As far as shows, just the same ones. Legacy. Harley Quinn. Started Ahsoka, first 2 episodes. It pays homage to
I wanna
Rebels,
I
and
wanna ask you something, but I guess we gonna wait until the last show, the last episode to
yeah.
talk about it.
Well,
I guess.
one thing I do want. I was talking to a coworker about it. It reminds me of Last of Us. Last of Us. Part of the reason why Last of Us was so great was the shot for shots at times between the video game and the show,
Yeah, they got
and
shot for shot, or like rebels, and you know.
yeah, it had its moments with that, and it was just fantastic. The her spaceship, Ahsoka's spaceship, and then the characters and the design, like they had shot for shot moments, and I feel like whenever a show or movie uh, matches the source material like that, it's doing something special. So I really love the fact that they did that. So
Well, I thought that the dude that played Aladdin was supposed to be Ezra. Did you hear about that? I thought I heard it like a few years ago. Like he's gonna play Ezra, and then
yeah.
like you got some other dude in there. Or am I
Well,
tripping?
you might be right, but like
Okay.
Buddy was on social media, said he hadn't been able to get a job since like Aladdin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I thought he
Yeah,
said that before. I could have
yeah,
sworn, maybe I'm tripping, but I could have sworn that I
mhm,
saw he was cast as Ezra in the
yeah,
Ahsoka. Well, in
yeah,
was it gonna be Ahsoka? I think it was gonna be Ahsoka. But yeah, I heard that like a
yeah,
while back. But now all of a sudden I see this
yeah,
dude on the episode. I'm like, that's not the dude. But
yeah,
I guess, man.
yeah. They found somebody better. But yeah, it was good, and now it has a. I'm like I was telling my coworkers, I'm not going to overhype it. But so far, is I've enjoyed it. I don't. It's
Yeah, I'm not
they've been
gonna fall for
filling
the.
on
I'm
the
not falling for the
yeah,
banana tailpipe.
exactly. The just season finales and stuff been filling. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's the main ones. Main stuff that I've been watching. I've been still reading the Kingdom Come, which is great, and playing Injustice as well. So being able to see the dark side of Superman and whatnot is it's been enjoyable. So what you got?
yeah. RP to Ray Stevenson too, man. He's in that show.
Oh
I, I,
man,
I
yeah,
like Ray Stevenson, man.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, I've been watching. Like I said, I watched Ahsoka. I just caught the last new episode of my Adventures with Superman. I just saw Harley Quinn. I've been back on. I need to get back on Warrior. I keep saying that, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get back on
yeah.
Warrior. Um, I've been. Oh yeah, I need to get back on Hero Academia. I kind of paused on that for a little bit. I think I'm on season 4 still of
Mm-hmm.
that. I need to. I've been back on Batman Brave and the Bold. Only reason why I'm back on Batman Brave and the Bold because I'm ready for some news on the Batman Brave and the Bold movie. I know it ain't gonna be like the show. I know that,
Yeah,
but I'm just ready to kind of get on that. Like it was something that I saw and it kind of caught my attention and it kind of reminded me of Batman Brave and the Bold. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna rewatch that series, man.
yeah.
I like the Batman Brave and the Bold when it was out. What else? I have not watched The Flash yet. I will. I will be watching that again. I just been busy,
Yeah.
man. We got a lot of well, we got a trip we about to take here, man. In the next couple of days. What game was it?
That was
Oh,
Injustice.
Injustice.
She told me to get it. Yeah,
I
I
thought you
got
played it before.
Injustice. I had, but I didn't own it.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty
just
good, bro.
having
Oh,
Injustice and Injustice 2 as well, and
I
this
need this.
talk
What I
of
need.
3,
This your next homework assignment after you done with Kingdom Come. Go read Injustice year 1 through 5.
1 through 5. Okay.
You're welcome. You are
All
welcome,
right.
bro. Listen,
Yeah,
plays off the comic. Like you think that the storyline is interesting in the video game?
yeah.
Cause listen to me, man,
Behind it.
bro. That's like the best, like one of the best storylines I've ever seen DC make, bro. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
this is I was like, okay, okay. I'm so glad it's like Elseworld type stuff, bro. Cause I'm like, if this was a DC comic, like proper, bro. I'll be like, oh my god, man, they killing
He
my
did
people.
well.
Anyway, but yeah, I don't want to talk too much about it. I want you to read it. I want you to read it, man.
Yeah,
You gonna, bruh, you gonna trip out, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got you.
you're right, King. I like that movie, man. I'm trying to think that. Do we see that in the movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Wait, I think we did.
wait.
No, we know.
No. We didn't see this one in the movie. We saw this one at the house. Yeah, this one was at the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember if we saw it at the movie theater. But yeah, listen,
Not
bro.
this one.
That, like you said, Ray, see that was the Punisher, man. That was the
Oh
Punisher.
man, yeah.
But yeah, let's see what else am I watching. I think that's it, man. Yeah, I think that's it. You got anything else, man? You want to add to before we head out?
No. What is it? It was another movie. With the animals. It dropped.
Strays.
Yeah, Strays. It dropped. Gonna have to find time to go see that, so I'll be able to talk about it. Yes,
I was thinking about. Matter
it
of fact,
looks crazy.
I'm about to ask Terry if she wanted to see that. I forgot that it came out. It came out last weekend, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Let me see what else coming out, bro. I know that same professional as King would say.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put that on the list and do a spoiler talk on it. It just looks crazy and something fun to talk about.
Cause the next comic book movie coming out, man, is the Marvels.
Yeah. And they'll be able to go into IMAX since Dune got pushed back to
24.
I think it was May 2024.
Yeah.
Or so they'll be able to go IMAX. So be ready for that,
bro. Oh, that's what I was gonna say too. Did you hear about the writer strike, man? So when no, the actors or writers, I think it's the writers. So once the contract ended, right, and they started talking about it, like right when the contract ended, did you know they didn't go back to the table to another 100 days?
What?
Both sides.
Jesus.
Both sides, bro. Did not go back to the drawing table until 100 days later, which is why this dragged out as long as it has. That's why when you're like, oh, they're finally, you're thinking like, oh, both sides been talking or whatever. Nah, we're gonna halt it. Then he talked, then he halted. Then he talked, we're gonna halt. Nah, what it was is they didn't say anything to each other for 100 days.
Jesus.
And look how it's affecting everything right now, bro. Like, that's irresponsibility on both sides, not just the studio, but on both sides, bro. So
yeah, you gotta. The only way to be able to get your points across is to be able to talk. So yeah, that's
the directors had their strike last this long, so they're done.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they even had a strike. I don't think they necessarily had a strike. I think they just they got everything. Matter of fact, their union, they said they've been working on this up until the deadline of the strike.
Yeah. See,
that's how they end up getting stuff done, bro. Yeah. So yeah, that's why they're in and out. But like I said, writers still going, studios still going. They had the studios had released public the demands, or the counter for, I think it was the writers. Yeah, for the writers, they had the counter for the writers. Didn't sound. I mean, everything sounded pretty good. You know, to me, I don't know what the basis of, like the base of all of it is to say like, hey, that 32% increase. I don't know what that would look like or whatever. They had definitive numbers in there as far as like the prices and stuff like that, or what they would get paid for whatever. Those sound good to me. Like I said, I'm not a writer, so I don't know how that would be for them. But I mean, everything sounds fair, so we're just going to see what happens from there. But yeah, 100 days, bro. 100 days.
Okay. And but last thing, I can watch scary movies at the house, King. I'm not paying money to go jump for 2 hours. I can just do that at the house.
I mean, I'll go see them. Ain't like, it's not like, oh my god, I gotta go see this movie. My wife loves scary movies. She don't like being alone after the scary movies, but she likes scary movies. So I saw literally all the Saw movies, so I'll probably go see Saw X too. But yeah, man. Oh my bad. But yeah, listen, guys. We definitely appreciate everybody rocking with us for another episode of Cuz We're Geek'd, man. Listen, we'll be back. Well, next Saturday, so we're not gonna have a show next week. I will be out of the country next week, so we will see you on that following. I'll ask Cuz, you want to try to get a show in before I leave? I leave on Wednesday.
Yeah, it'll be at least Tuesday. Yeah, we can be able to get a little short one.
Okay. All right, we'll see on Tuesday, guys. I'm gonna see how my schedule is. My wife gonna be like, nah, you need to. Well, no, I say I'm sorry. I got a show. I got another show on Tuesday. I can't do it Tuesday.
It'll be 2 weeks then.
Yeah, 2 weeks, y'all. I apologize, y'all. We'll be back in 2 weeks. But until then, man, listen, man, it's your boy Real.
It's your boy Will.
And listen, man, we encourage y'all to stay geeked in these geeky streets out here, y'all. And we out.